Does anyone else feel like we're in some weird fever dream right now? What is going on in America? Thank you so much for joining another episode of Dee-Tells presented by Soulitude. As most of you know, I'm Dee, and I'm here to tell you my thoughts on some relatable Soulitude life topics. Soulitude is a brand that I created to help illuminate the light within us all in inspiring ways. So I'm so glad that we are able to have this community during dark times so we can talk about the ways that we can shine through and make it together. Today's video is on how we can channel our anger into action. So let's get into it. I know right now the political and socioeconomic status of what is going on in the US of A feels like we have been thrown a curveball. And a lot of us feel very confused, very frustrated, and downright angry, to be honest. And those of you that do feel that way, I just want you to know that you are not alone. And even though we feel these emotions, today we are going to talk about how we can do our best to stay positive when everything around us feels so negative, and how we can actually channel that frustration into something that is positive and meaningful. So let's get comfortable and get to it. First things first, I want to address that we need to acknowledge our feelings. I know people say not to talk about politics, and so you may feel like you want to suppress how you feel, but it is okay to feel upset and frustrated right now, okay? And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Your feelings right now are valid, and it's important to not suppress them. I love the analogy of suppressing your emotions kind of being like trying to hold down a beach ball underwater. You know, you keep trying to push it down, but eventually it will pop up with more force. And we don't want to suppress our feelings so much that they pop out and now we're just spreading more negativity and more discomfort. So make sure to not suppress those emotions. You want to be able to get them out, find a safe space, find friends and family and community where you can share those similar beliefs so that you feel the empathy and compassion for your emotions right now. If you don't have that community with you, I hope Soulitude can be that for you. But also, please feel free to journal. Get those thoughts out. And even if it feels better, if you're not such a vocal person, not all of us express our feelings the best vocally. Hell, if you need to scream into a pillow, do so. There have been times when I have sat in my car and just screamed. And the power of just letting that out is so transformative. So do what you need to do to acknowledge your feelings and just get to a point where you feel like you've released them and you can feel a little bit of satisfaction from that, feeling understood and feeling like you were able to express yourself. So now that we've acknowledged our feelings, let's talk about perspective. Why do we feel this way? When things don't go our way, it's really easy for everything to feel like it's spiraling out of control. But we want to remember that one event is not everything, and the human spirit is very resilient. Change often starts with our mindset. So in these moments when we may feel helpless, let's take a step back and ask ourselves, what is in my control right now? By focusing on what is in your control instead of what's outside of your reach, this is going to make a world of difference, and it's going to give us back our power that we feel like we don't have right now. I really love the phrase action over anger. Anger and frustration can actually be a very powerful catalyst for change if we use them in the right way. Instead of letting that anger consume you, rechannel it into positive action. Maybe that means volunteering for a cause that you feel passionate about. Maybe that's taking part in local initiatives within your community. Or that might even mean just educating people on the topics that really matter to you. Regardless of what the action is, action beats despair every time. And you would actually be really surprised how empowered you feel by being a part of the solution, even if that's in a small way. While we're feeling inspired and taking action, I also want to address how important it is for us to make sure that we are also taking action in self-care during this time. During times of high stress, I want to emphasize that self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. We can feel very overwhelmed by what's going on. So it's so important that we take moments to just disconnect from the media. We kind of realize that media is what is fueling a lot of the negativity, a lot of the misinformation, a lot of the controversy, even within community groups. So sometimes we just need to take a break. And don't think of taking that break from the world's problems as not caring. It's caring so much that you know that you have to care about yourself in order to tackle the problems. So don't feel bad about taking that moment to gather that strength. Even the battery that's charging that we use for our camera has to be taken out of the camera, put on that charger, take a break, recharge so that it can do the action that it needs to do. Okay, so take little moments when you feel overwhelmed to go for a walk outside, to meditate, okay? Just practice mindfulness so that you can recenter yourself to have the strength to deal with everything that's going on. I love to put on a good comedy show to make myself laugh. Laughing is so healing. Put on, whatever music relaxes you, and just dance and just take a break from the freedom fight. And know that that doesn't mean, again, I already said this, but it doesn't mean that you don't care. It just means that you know that you need to fill your water in order to fill the water and all of the initiatives that you care about. Negativity can also feel very isolating, but when we come together, that can really amplify hope and action. There is strength in numbers. So let's use this platform to help identify those of us that share similar values and share similar struggles so that we can actually lean on each other and lift each other up. It is within groups that we are able to unite and actually make a powerful difference. So let's make sure to build this community or build communities of your own where you can feel safe and feel empowered and use the negative emotions that we feel to really help us come together to make change. Those were today's details on how we can take anger and rechannel that into empowerment. I just want to emphasize again that being positive during these troubling times doesn't mean that you're not being real about what's going on or that you're ignoring the world's problems. It actually, to me, means that you are able to be even stronger and address these situations with courage, compassion, and determination to be a part of the change that you seek. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone else that you feel like can benefit from today's message. I thank you again for watching, and if you know of any organizations, platforms, or local initiatives that have volunteer opportunities or opportunities for people to stand and represent and be a part of the solution, please leave them in the comments so that we can be a part of the change and be a part of the solution. I also will see what I can do to gather some organizations that maybe have volunteer opportunities, and I'll try to make that a social post. So be sure to follow our social channels so that we can stay connected. Please feel free to subscribe to this channel if you enjoy content like this and want to be a part of the Soulitude community. I thank you again and again and again for watching, and until next time, please take care of yourself and please take care of each other.